last week a chance to look at maybe some of the twos and threes and Devo guys. What did you see from especially some of those younger defensive backs last week?
Yeah, just to them. You talking about in regards to Rutgers?
No,
or the off week?
And chance last week during your off week to look at some of your younger DBs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was like a normal bye week for us, so we practiced a couple of days, but it was just really, really good for those, especially when you got guys on the look squads, you have a chance to really really watch them work, do some indie with them, and just how we do things around here, just from a developmental standpoint. I thought it was really good. Guys are flying around, having a good time. We also had a chance to meet with our players collectively, off the heels of the Dallas Cowboy player losing his life. We met in regards defensively. I spoke a lot in that regard, just so our players, man, I told you guys this during the course of the week, right? Like, these guys deal with, I know, right, because they're getting paid. I know people on the outside can be of the assumption like, well, they that's what they wanted, but they're still young people, and that doesn't change, right? Their mindset, that doesn't change how they operate, right? They're still going to go through things that are very challenging and hard sometimes. And so, as coaches, obviously the bye week football is what we focused on, but just a reminder for everybody in the building and across college football that, right, somebody could be suffering in silence and you not even know it. And I think it's our job as coaches and as teammates, right, to just make sure we have a awesome environment for them to come and display their feelings, or whether they need help outside of this place. And so from a football standpoint, we grew a lot, but from a mental health standpoint, a development standpoint, I think all in all, I think anytime we have a week off, I think our guys really, really have a chance to hone in physically and mentally to what we're trying to accomplish overall.
Coach, you played against some really good quarterbacks in this league, obviously. Maryland rolls out a talented freshman. What have you seen from him on film? Yeah,
Malik Washington. I wouldn't even consider him a freshman, man. He plays like he's a senior. I mean, he has a very, very live arm. I mean, kudos to Coach Locks and Coach Hamilton. They've done a great job with him in his development. I mean, you can see it, right? Like, I think going into the Rutgers game, I think he only had he had less than 100 yards rushing on the year, and then all of a sudden in that game, the first quarter, he has like over 130, and so the young man is talented. He can obviously run, but he throws the ball extremely well, right? He made a throw in that Rutgers game and in the Washington game from the opposite hash that was like ridiculous, right? Like the young man's arm is second to none. I mean, he can make all the throws, right? Obviously he's a freshman, and so I think the more games he plays, just the better he's going to get. I'm sure he learned some things from Saturday that he wish he could have back. We just got to do a really good job in trying to confuse him and cause a little bit of chaos for him, man. But he's talented. I mean, it's scary that he's a freshman. I mean, they've done a really, really good job with him, and we know he makes their offense go, right? I think it helps to have some older guys up front. They got some leaders up front on their O-line, a bunch of experience. He got some really good wideouts he throws to, on the back end. I know they've been struggling, but I try to disregard all that, man. I watched that team walk into Madison, Wisconsin, win a football game, which is really, really hard to do, and they did it, and he played lights out. So it's going to be a challenge for us, obviously. Thank God we got him here. We're thankful for that, but I mean, he's as talented as any young quarterback in this league.
Does the freshman tag stop right about now? Because not only just with the quarterback, but with their running backs and a lot of their skill guys, lots running out, a lot of freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, I think by the time you get to the midway point, man, that kind of freshman tag's kind of off, in my opinion. I think the quarterback position is a tad bit different just because, that position is so vital to a team's success, and what teams ask quarterbacks to do. But I mean, if you didn't know his age, or you didn't know what year in school he was, and you just watched him go out there and play, you sure wouldn't have guessed that he was a freshman, and I think they've done a really, really good job just historically there in finding talent, developing talent, and it just so happened to be at that quarterback position. I mean, that cat he's different.
And obviously we'll ask Brett about Dylan, but with or without him, what have you seen from Kenneth, from James, from Malachi, just in the event they have Grant, I guess, in the event they have to step into more?
Right. I mean, like I said a couple of weeks ago, pardon me, that's a very, very close-knit group, anytime I think one guy goes down, I think they grow even tighter, you know, and it's always, I think Coach Arch has done a really good job throughout the course of the year. You've seen an influx of guys get a lot of reps. So, you know, I always go into the season, like from linebacker, DB, D-lineman, like no matter where you're at on the depth chart, by the time the season's over, you're going to play, right? You got to be prepared for that. I think Coach Archie McDaniel and Matt Ellerbrock has done a tremendous job in prepping the guys that they probably initially in game one weren't the starter, but getting them right. I thought Krutz had a phenomenal game against Rutgers, man. Just the way he came out there and he did some things. I mean, obviously Dylan Rosiak is vital to our defense, but to watch Krutz come in there and step up, I mean, that's a testament to his coaches, the guys who coach him, and that's a testament to him believing in that. You know, Dylan Rosiak, he's a mentor to those guys all along the way, and it was really cool to see a young player step up in that role and have a really good game.
Obviously, you guys are now 5 or 6 games. Tanner playing primarily for Xavier. What have you seen from him in that body of work?
Well, it's funny because I had a chance to meet with Tanner, and he, you know, going into the season, he didn't expect to play this much, right? Because of Xavier. But, you know, I think it's going to be a great learning experience for him. You know, like even I can remember when Xavier was a true freshman, he got thrown into the fire. It paid dividends for him a year later. It paid dividends for him 2 years later, and just to see the progression that Tanner's made, right? I think about the Duke game when he made a couple plays, and the USC game, he gets a couple of balls caught on him, and like that's the life of a DB, you know. And I'm always trying to encourage those guys because it's just different out there on that island than it is right in the quarter formation sometimes. And you know, his best days are ahead of him. He's a bright spot, I believe, on this defense. He's as talented as any DB we've had come through here, and I'm really looking forward to his future here because he's very intelligent, he's very smart, and I think coming from 8-man football, you know, coming in here playing on special teams year one, and then this year, you know, kind of getting his feet wet to start behind X, and then being thrown into the fire, and you gotta line up and cover, in my opinion, probably one of the best slot receivers in the country at USC. You know, that's a tall task to do, you know, and a lot of people have struggled to do that versus that cat, but he went in there and held his own. It's only going to pay dividends for him in the future, right? Especially playing that position.
Coach, have opposing coaches figured out a little bit, don't sub as much against Illinois, slow down your slow sub strategy a little bit. How do you adjust to that, make sure you get the right guys on the field at the right time?
I wouldn't say they figured it out. I think that it's just due in large part to what personnel grouping they're in, you know. Some teams sub a little more, some teams sub a little less. I think with Rutgers in particular, I don't know if you guys remember the year before, every third and medium, third and short, Rutgers went tempo. So you can't sub in that regard. But some other teams allow you to sub because they want to get the proper personnel grouping on the field as well. And it just varies from game to game. Sometimes it'll be a one-person sub, sometimes it'll be a two-person sub. And I wouldn't say they've really caught on because I'm basing my subs a lot of times off. Sometimes I'm basing it off of a team if they're subbing, and sometimes I don't care if they sub or not. I'm just trying to get our best personnel grouping on the field because I like this particular call in this section of the field that's going to give us an opportunity to be successful. So I think it's a little game of cat and mouse. You know, if anything, I think we've mastered the ability to sub on this end in regards to when teams are subbing, when we can sub guys and try to use that against them. You know, but it's all about matchups, man. It's all about trying to find the right personnel grouping to get the guys on the field to have success.
What did you maybe take from the pressure you were able to get against Rutgers, just as you look to the last 3 games?
Yeah, it's vital. It's vital to our success. It's vital to us having to cover not as long on the back end, right? Like it's all about trying to affect the quarterback, right? And Ethan is a really good quarterback. I mean, he's been there for a long time at Rutgers, and you know, all I wanted to do was just try to cause as much. I just wanted him to be uncomfortable in the pocket, you know, and I think it affected as the game progressed. It helped us out on the back end tremendously, right? And then just try to change those looks as the game kind of went on. And I thought we got off the ball up front. Obviously, Gabe had a couple sacks, and I thought Jello was going to get a half of that one. But you know, we got some guys flying around, which up front we took off, guys getting off the ball, affect the quarterback, and that obviously it paid dividends for the back end tremendously, especially as the game progressed. So that, I mean, us getting pressure on the quarterback is vital to us having success.
Matt Bailey, just the way he's played in the last 5 or 6 weeks, what's that do for your defense, and what have you seen kind of unlock with him?
Yeah, he's a special player. I mean, we all know what Matt Bailey is capable of. We all know Matt Bailey has a bright future. be on here one day. And I think when your best players can play their best, I think you're gonna have a really good football team, right? I think about Luke Altmaier. Luke Altmaier's playing out his mind right now. I think about Hank Beatty, right? And so when you got your best players, right, playing their best, right, like I think that just helps the team as a whole. And Matt is very, very conscious of his ability and where he needs to be and how his level of play elevates everybody else's level of play. It's very similar to Xavier Scott, you know, because when you have that kind of guy on the field, it's like a calming feeling to everybody else, like, something going wrong, I got us. You know, for him to be able to play the way he has, it helps us as a defense. It obviously helps him, but more importantly, it just allows us to do some things and play really, really fast when he's playing at that level.
Malik is a guy who can move and can run. What have you learned about how your particular defense kind of handles some of those quarterbacks who have the ability to get out and do that?
Yeah, right. You think about DeQuan Finn, you think about Lenore Sellers. It's all about, one, it's our rush lanes. Our rush lanes are vital. Where we are on the field is even that much more crucial. When is he pulling the ball down to run, right? It's an element of being able to keep him in the pocket, but also getting them off the spot. Damon Williams was a really, really special athlete, but, you know, sometimes it's not bad to have a quarterback move a little bit, you know, when they can throw off their back foot or they can throw moving out of the pocket. They may make some great throws. They may even sometimes, I think, Malik scramble for like a 60-yarder, and you don't want that. But when you got a really good player back there, I mean, they're going to make some plays as well. And so it's just trying to have change-ups, right? Knowing how do we need to rush in this particular part of the field, right? How can we cause confusion for them? How can we get a free runner? Just always trying to spin the dial on those kind of players, right? I don't think you can live in just dropping 8 the whole game in regards to a player like that. You got to drop 8 a little bit. You got to bring some pressure. You just got to make them uncomfortable. And then, more importantly, you got to be able to change the looks on the back end for them. Hopefully, you can get them to kind of throw you one as the game progresses.
Is that the norm?
Last one here.
Is that the norm now? I mean, it feels like every week we're talking about this quarterback can get out and run. Like, is that more of what you're seeing?
Man, all these quarterbacks are good, man. All of them are good. I mean, I think about ours. Ours is really, really special. Luke Altmaier is extremely special, right? He has the ability to run. I think that in today's game, in today's world, like, if you got a quarterback that can run around a little bit, you are a scary football team. You know, you're a really, really good offensive football team. And I think that's where the game is kind of going now. You know, like, even these NFL guys, I mean, all of them have the ability or possess the ability to run. I mean, the true drop back pocket passers they're out there, but I mean, it's not as prevalent as it was 10, 15 years ago. I mean, all these guys have an element. I mean, dang near every quarterback this year has the ability to run. I mean, Julian Sand was probably the only one who didn't run. He has the ability to, but he didn't run because he's throwing to some pretty good players, you know, so he didn't really have to run much. But all these quarterbacks have the ability to run and possess that ability.